Today I'm going to show you how I made the freestanding oak scratching post for my cat Rainbow. Let's see how we did it. So I've got this old oak door that I'm going to cut the circle out of today. Now I need to find the centre of that. The easiest way is just to connect both corners and that will give me dead centre. So just use something that you know is straight. Just connect corner to corner. And that gives you your dead centre of your board. I'll now be using the circle cutting jig that I made in the previous video. I'll link it in the description if you want to know how to make it or more detail of how to use it. So now I'll just screw the screw into the centre of the board. So now once that's in, you don't want to tighten it all the way down. You want it to be able to move around nice and easily as you go around like that. So as you can see, that'll give you a circle. Now I don't want to be taking away that much material each time, so I'm just going to take it over to the bandsaw. You could also do it on a jigsaw. I'm just going to cut out close to the inner circle. Get that all cut, all the waste material removed, and then I'll bring it back over to the jig and finish it all up. So now I'll remove the waste. I'm just going to bring it back over, get it back on the jig and finish it up. Now when you're removing the rest of the material, just do it in shallow passes. I'll do it about 1/4 of an inch, which is 6mm at a time. And on the final pass you will see I'll just leave the router off the table and I'll spin the actual workpiece around so I don't get any damage to my actual worktop. Right, so now I've switched over to a chamfer bit. I'm going to give a very small chamfer to the underside and a bit of a heavier one to the top. Right, so I've got this piece left over from another one of the oak doors and it's got this split coming down here. So that's just going to dictate the size that we're going to do. I'm just going to cut it a little bit smaller than that. Give it a straight cut and then this is going to be the actual scratching post. Right, so up to that crack, I've got about 190, just to be safe. I'm going to cut it to 185, and then that will be the full width. Just going to give a small chamfer on those cut edges, just to get rid of any sharpness. And that is pretty much it for the scratching post. We need to get some rope and wrap it around, but I need to get everything sanded, put a bit of finish on it, and then we'll go from there. Now while I'm doing everyone's favourite part of the project, I'm just going to use this time to explain why I'm making a freestanding scratching post. Two reasons. One, it is very handy to be able to move it from room to room, and the actual reason why I'm making it is whilst we're out of the country on holiday, one of our friends are going to be looking after our cat and we don't want our cat to be scratching up her furniture. And this should hopefully prevent that from happening. Right, so I'm just going to be drilling a hole in the top corner for the rope to start at. I'm just going to be marking 25mm in from the top and from the side. Doesn't have to be exact, I'll just use that measurement just because I used it on a test piece and it seemed to work out okay. So I'm going to drill that with a 15mm Forstner bit. Right, so that's where I'm going to get the rope to start from. I'm just going to get it twisted, get it through the hole, so it passes through. Then on the back side here, see that? Just going to pull it through a little bit and open this all out so I can sort of get it flat. So I'm going to staple it and hold it down on the back here. Right, so I was actually meant to put finish on this before I attached the rope to it, but I forgot until now. So I'm just going to put a food safe finish. This is just a mineral oil and beeswax blend that I make up. So I'm going to put this over everything, let it all sink in. buff it in quickly, and then I'll carry on wrapping the rope. Now with this finish, I just use a bit of shop rag to buff it into the surface. I'll leave it for a couple of hours to seep in and do what it needs to do, and then I'll come back and wipe off any excess after. Right, so now that I've got some finish on it, I'm just going to get the rope, going to wrap it round as tight as I can, all the way down to close to the bottom. I don't know where I'm going to stop yet. I don't need to go all the way to the bottom, but I'm going to do at least sort of 2/3 of it. Probably go a bit lower, but we'll see how much rope we've got, and then we'll see where we end up. Right, so when wrapping the rope around, you just want to try and keep it as tight as possible. I actually done this twice because the first time I did it, I didn't pull it tight enough and it wasn't holding on to the wood as well as I liked, so I had to take it all off and do it again. Second thing I learned from this is that 10 meters of rope doesn't go as far as you think it will. I actually managed to do just over half the board, but it worked out well in the end, so I'm happy with how it ended up. Right, so I'm just using some hot glue to hold the bottom piece in place. So I'm going to try and have this side facing out the direction where she's going to be using most of the time anyway. It's going to be freestanding, so she can go to the back if she needs to, but I'm going to try and keep this side to the front so she uses this side more, just in case this comes off in the future. If it comes off, I'll figure out another way to attach it, but right now that should hopefully hold it well enough. And then from that side, it's all just going to be as it is. So I'm going to figure out how I want to attach that to the base, show you how I do that, and then we'll see if she likes it. Right, so I think I'm going to attach it onto the bottom with 3 screws and probably 2 dowels as well, just to keep it all aligned when I put it in place. So I've just put a centre mark on there just so I can go line the centres up, give a straight line. So the post itself is 185mm, half of that is 92.5, but we'll say 90, so we'll come in 25mm from there, so we'll go 65mm either way. So that's where our 3 screws will go. We'll have it all screwed together, then drill straight through for the dowels. Right, so with those 3 marks that I've put on the bottom, I'm just going to drill these 3 out with a 6mm drill bit so the screws can go in nicely, and then I'm going to drill the centre one out on the actual post so I can get it all lined up. I'm going to screw that one together, and then after I'm going to get that all lined up nicely, drill the other 2 whilst it's actually in place. So I've just got a countersink bit there, so I'm just going to use that to countersink the holes at the bottom. Right, so with that, I'm just going to mark the centre point on the bottom of there, drill that out with a 4mm drill bit, so I'll go straight through there. Then I'm going to screw that together on the middle, pre-drill the other 2 through the holes that are there, get it all screwed together, and then drill it out for the dowels. Right, so I've got an 8mm dowel that I'm going to be using here, so I've just got to drill 2 8mm holes so I can get this threaded in. Take your time here to make sure you're drilling through straight. You don't want to blow out the side of your post and then ruin all the hard work you've done up till this point. Right, so now I'm just going to take that out, glue the dowels into the post, and we should be near enough done. Right, so now that's all done, I'm just going to put the base back on, get it all screwed together, and we'll call it done. Alright, so I think it's safe to say Rainbow likes her new scratching posts. If you have any questions about the build, please let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me in the next one.